Maverick 100.9. It's Cordless here, and you just heard the latest from Aggie Land artist Will Carter. Just wait and see, but we don't have to wait any longer. First interview of the year, first Aggie Land artist release of the year. Will Carter, everybody.
Hey, whoop. What's up,
Hey,
Aggie
woo.
Land?
It is so good to see you. And the first thing I wanted to do before talking music was point out something that's just really funny to me.
What's that?
And I don't know if you have even tracked this, but of course, tradition is the first week of interviews every year is Aggie Land artists. And you particularly are always in my first interviews of the year because you always release new music around the holidays. Is that by design?
Duh. It's all part of the master plan.
Right. And then every single time we do our new, and sometimes during the year we have big news, but we always have this huge announcement at the beginning of the year. And the first one was you released my favorite song, which was You Feel Like Home. And that was when you met Lauren. But Lauren was just, oh, there's this girl that really fits in with my family, and like she's really cool, and I think it's gonna last. Okay, so that was the first one. The second was we got engaged. The third was we got married. And then earlier in 2023, you announced on Maverick before you even announced to your fans that Lauren was pregnant. So now, going into 2024, the baby is here.
The baby is here. Trey Henry Carter. Oh, man, I will tell you this. My life has never been the same. It is the most amazing thing. And, it wouldn't be tradition. I'm all about tradition because, I'm an Aggie.
Right.
And it wouldn't be tradition if we didn't roll something else out for 2024. But baby number 2 is coming to see us in 2024.
Am I the first one again?
You're the first one again.
Will, how does this keep happening? And that's by accident. I did not know he was going to tell me this.
Well, my wife is an OBGYN, so nothing is by accident. But
Right.
it does have to do with the time of year and when the baby's born and the fact that they'll be the oldest in their grade. So she's kind of got a plan, but her plan just keeps working out. You know what I'm saying?
Dr. Lauren is the coolest. Oh my, well, then I would say she took to motherhood just fine then.
Oh, she's enjoying it. Yeah, I'm of course hoping for another boy, but I'll be fine with it, girl. And
Yeah,
I don't
because
think
now you
I don't think
have
she has a
both.
preference. I do. I have the 19-year-old daughter. I've got now what, a 3-month-old son. And I could go either way. I would be happy either way. I think if I could plan it, which I can't, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
I could, but I don't want to. I want to just leave it up to God. But I think that if I got my way, I would have another boy so that so Trey has somebody to kind of wrestle around with and, rough up on and stuff. And then have a girl after that so that the two big brothers could beat up any of the bad boys that came around and mess with the little girl. But
I love that. But you do know, well, I guess you don't know because you only just had your second. FYI, Will, your last is tougher and stronger and will
true.
beat the rest because I am the youngest.
I'm the oldest of 4, and the
Yeah.
younger ones are the little pistols.
Yes.
For sure.
And so if you have your little girl last, I can guarantee you, talk to me in 20 years, I'm gonna guarantee you that girl don't need any help from her brother.
She ain't gonna take a no crap.
Nothing. Well,
I
oh
believe it.
my gosh. Well, thank you for sharing that, Will. That is, as your friend and as someone that loves getting to share your music with Aggie Land, that is so special. Thank you.
Well, thank you for always having me and including me. There's a very special place in my heart for both you and Maverick and for Aggieland, of course.
And we designed it that way. We knew going into this or just launching Maverick, which, Maverick will celebrate 5 years in September of 24. So that's our big what we're looking forward to in
Sure.
2024 is that 5-year anniversary, that mile marker.
Nice.
But you have got to spend it all with me from the beginning and the beginning of this Aggieland artist thing. And still to this day, besides the two things that people always comment on when they meet me in person is we love the interviews and we love the Aggieland artists.
Nice.
That's community. That's why you have stayed connected to Aggieland.
Well, I've got all year to come up with something big to release to Aggieland in January 2025.
I know,
So
like tell Lauren now she has to start her planning around my interviews. So we can keep getting this pure coreless shock. At least I didn't cuss you out this time like I did. I cussed you out when you told me about the last baby. I was in pure shock. God, so cool. Well, life updates from Aggieland artist Will Carter, y'all. Life updates, but we do have music updates from the Will Carter band you did just release. Just wait and see. And I do want to know about this song because I know things have been your music has been changing and it has gotten closer and closer to your own heart the more singles you have put out. So is this another really personal one for you?
So this one was one that just jumped out at me, and unlike every other song on this record, the record prior, and I think the record prior, um, I didn't write this song. You know, this song was written by Jesse Watson, and he let me hear it one day, and I said, "Man, I got to have that song," because I feel like it's one of those that everybody can relate to. You know, everybody's been told at some point in their life that they weren't good enough, or they weren't smart enough, or they weren't pretty enough, or they weren't skinny enough, or they were never going to make it, or whatever. And this song's all about looking your haters in the face and just saying, just wait and see. And I think that there's two ways to take that kind of response from people. You can either let it get you down, or you can double down and show them what's up. And I think that the world needs to hear it, and that we can all relate to it. And the response we've gotten so far has been fantastic, and I'm just glad people are connecting with it and relating to it.
Me too. I've always said something, and it makes my therapist a little bit mad because she doesn't like the word, and my therapist and pretty much everyone else sees me as a very kind person. But I have always said, career-wise, at least, well, no, just about anything I've ever done in my life, I have done with complete and total spite. But it is because the world has done nothing but tell me no. There is nothing I have never heard no on. And I have spitefully just fought against every single challenge. And I've been successful in that mindset, but maybe I'll try to use a kinder phrase like just wait and see instead of using the word spite. She doesn't like that. I'm working on that because you know better than anyone. I never would intentionally be spiteful, but that's what it feels like.
Well, I was being a really good parent, and was letting my 3-month-old sit on my lap and watch Terminator 3 because I like the Terminator movies. And there's a line in there where Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's Terminator, he talks to John Connor, and he says that anger is more useful than despair. And it kind of struck a chord.
Wow.
So,
See,
hey man, just turn it into something positive, and if that's what fuels the fire, go get it.
Or even the word, a word we heard in 2023 a lot was narcissism.
Oh yeah.
We heard that word a lot. And I even started to relate to narcissism and started questioning myself. And it was James Cook that told me, well, if you are a narcissist, all I've ever seen you use it for is for nonprofit organizations or helping musicians. And so is it bad if you are a narcissist? And I was like, dang, this is getting really confusing.
Just use your powers for good.
Exactly. Exactly. Use the good and the evil, but that is a funny thing that you always, which is why it's hilarious that you told me this song is written by Jesse and not you, because it is very similar to your previous single, What About Love? I
Yeah.
always make a full scene every time I hear the words to What About Love. I'm like, God, what Will Carter is saying in this song, you have got to listen.
Hmm.
And I think Just Wait and See is going to be another one of those.
Well, I think that's why it spoke to me. And I forget who it was, if it was Merle Haggard, but he said, or Waylon Jennings, one of the two, but that they said that, it takes almost as much talent to identify a hit as it does to write one. And when I
Yeah.
heard this song, I don't know, it grabbed me, and I was like, man, Jesse, I got to cut that one. We went into the studio and cut it and put it on this album, which we've been kind of leaking singles off of for a few months now. But we're gonna drop the rest of it in April, along with the next release, which I'm also super excited about, because we went to a studio with Chad Malden. You probably know Chad from the TCMAs,
Love
and
Chad. Shout out.
had never worked with him before. He
I've
approached me. He was
actually
like,
been in his studio and been with
"Is
him
it cool?"
while he's working. It's an
It
old
is.
radio station.
That's
You know,
right.
the nerd in me was,
Yeah. And they were telling me, okay, here's where the scratch on the wall from Johnny Cash's boot when he was in the
yes,
studio. And so it was just a cool vibe in there. And then there's, across the hall, he's got like 3 or 4 lease spaces. It's just kind of like, radio station slash office building slash whatever, but that it has all been fitted out and to a nice apartment, with, 2 or 3 bedrooms and a big bathroom and a full kitchen. And so we set up in there, recorded a song that Scott Brown wrote, and he had pitched to me. We recorded that, and then that was all we were going to do. We were there for 2 days, and so we worked till about 10 o'clock at night, and we were pretty much done the first day. And so we busted out some beers and stuff, and sat around and just started writing. And we wrote this song, just the band and I. And then 9 o'clock the next morning, Chad showed back up, and we recorded it. And then we sent it to Jen, our radio promoter, like, "Hey, check this out." And she is flipping out about it. So it's very different, right? Because it sounds like a band song. The band wrote it, the band recorded it. And Chad's he's a great producer, but he gives you a lot of freedom. He doesn't, some of the places we've recorded, they have a formula.
yeah,
He lets you do what you want to do, and he
yeah.
gives his input. So it was a different experience, but it was a really cool experience. So I'm excited to get the album out, and I'm excited to see what else we do going forward, with the whole process of not only now recording with the band, but also writing and then recording those songs with the band. So,
Yeah.
um,
Will Carter Band, that was a big launch for you, and actually becoming a whole was a very big deal, because you've been so solo for so long, and then the business became a family business, and then the band became a part of the family, and then it all started working together. And I think that is such a road for success for you. But yeah, I was curious about the little drops, the music drops, the everything like that. Not to mention behind the scenes, I even did some voiceover work for Will Carter Band late last year. And so there were a few things that I knew about that others didn't know about. So you are promising we are getting the album April.
April it is.
Okay. God dang. I've been waiting. Jeez.
Me too. It's been done for like a year.
I know. This is ridiculous. Goodness. Darn musicians. Well, good. Then we will have a 4-month checkup with Will Carter. We'll see how Dr. Lauren is doing with the baby, and how the baby is doing with Dr. Lauren being pregnant again, and how dad is running still between construction and music, between Houston and Aggie land. I mean, Will, your life is nuts, but
I wouldn't have it
I
any other way.
yeah, I have so much fun cheering you on and watching your journey. It's part of you being an entertainer. You let us so intimately into your life that a lot of people don't do. And God, that just makes being your fan that much more fun.
Well, I'm having a blast, and it does require a lot of energy. I will say this: having a baby is a young man's game, but he has the Energizer Bunny DNA that I have, so it's been a ton of fun.
Yeah. Well, that's why I love living in a college town. I
Oh yeah.
basically don't age anymore. I just stay in my 20s. My driver's license says otherwise, but I can assure you not many people check that anymore.
You're only as old as you act. Is that how
Ex-
it is?
Exactly. And maturing was just never in
Yeah.
the cards for me. Oh man. Well, thank you again for the catch up. Thank you again for being the first interview of
I
2024,
love it.
and we're going to wish you all the best in it, but we have no doubt in you that it is going to be the best.
Hey, cheers to 2024, Aggieland. May this be the best year yet.